thanks for staying with us. A video went viral over the weekend. Students of a school in Kwara State were bitten for allegedly drinking alcohol at a friend's party in a video. These students were flogged mercilessly. This brought about a lot of controversies and comments and thoughts on social media. And it reminds us of the issue of how far is too far in disciplining children in times like this. We're going to show you a clip of this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Watch this. So the conversation, therefore, is, I mean, when I discussed it with you, I was born a Muslim, and I know that I went to a Muslim school, and it's not about that. It's the fact that there's always this stringent method of ensuring that everybody reads, and you go a certain way, you have to read the Quran a certain way, or even in some religion. I don't know about the Christians, I don't know if they do that, but sometimes it's seen as it's normal for these kinds of beatings to happen when you go out of line in some of these Arabic schools. Can we now begin to see the dehumanization in these acts? Or are we saying this is how it's done? Let me come to you, Nyma. Let me start with you, because this is your constituency.
I went to Arabic school, but I wasn't beaten like this.
But you were beaten?
I was beaten 2 strokes, 3 strokes. A lot of the methods of teaching, Muslims, if you run a poll, Muslims that are in every sphere in the world today will tell you they don't work, they're counterproductive. People no longer subscribe to them. But you have some schools in the core south and core north where these are the methods. And even in north, some would push the children outside to beg, which is their Almajiri system. These were methods devised by the teachers themselves. So nobody should generalize them as Islam, because I'm still a Muslim. People still grew up practicing their religion, and they learned differently. My younger sister came home and said, Daddy, you better teach me or I won't learn. And so my father taught her. And never once was she caned. So there are several methods of teaching. And this is not Islam. They are devised by the teachers in their whatever they call disciplinary methods. The problem is parents subscribing to a person's methods of helping you raise your children. You remember when I said a lot of times you resort to shortcut methods to solve long-term problems. To raise a child religiously is a family deliberate intention. It is not taking the child to any school that works. It is either the parents want to be the example or nothing.
So that's really the conversation. Let me come to you, BC.
Yeah, so I've always said that nobody would raise your child better than you would. And deliberate parenting is the way to go if you want your children to turn out right. Gone are the days when some of our parents raised us absent-mindedly, and we still struggled and found our way. These days, if you raise any child absent-mindedly, it will tell in that child's future. So for me, when it comes to discipline, the first question I ask is, what is the end purpose? To what end are we planning to discipline this child? Is it for correction, so that the child does not do it again, or for damage? If you have those two things in mind, I always also say that some of these teachers need to be properly trained in child psychology, because you just see them as little human beings that don't have any sense. They are full-blown spirits. Whatever you do to them today will affect them in the near future. Did you see how that kid was landing? I was feeling it as if it was me. So this, in long term, will cause damage. So you now have a child who sees violence for violence, an eye for an eye. Somebody does something to him as an adult, and the next thing is to hit. We are all like that.
Actually, I think that what we don't understand is the parents wanted this to happen. So the parents wanted a disciplinary measure that would be a disciplinary measure that would compel the child into obedience. So probably they've tried, or they did not even try, but obviously from the story we heard, the parents actually reported the children that my child is, let me deal with this situation. So this is the way they could deal with it. There's a statement I saw that if you take away compelling and you take away force out of religion, and you take away poverty out of our society, you will see that very few people will pursue any religious beliefs.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's no poverty or failed governance, People will not go to any, they won't pursue because we are being compelled because the forces of life have pushed us into religion. But if you take that out, what the focus should be across all religion is to preach the opportunities that your humanness will give you to impact life. So when you want to tell somebody to stop drinking, it's not by beating the person. It's by telling them that your life, the purpose of your life is beyond. This alcohol is going to deter you from what you're supposed to achieve, the impact you're supposed to have, the kingdom you're supposed to reign upon. You're supposed to build that person's confidence to the point where they will feel like all these things are distractions from my vision. But we don't do that. We feel like we must be forced and beaten and
caned into compliance.
And it doesn't work. What people should have realized by now is it builds rebellion. They would obey in front of you. They will not drink in front of you. Once you turn your back, they will do everything you told them not to because they don't understand it. They are only doing it because of you, not because of themselves. And it is not working and it will not work.